explain particular type of vehicle layout or draw general layout of vehicle and label the components name. These are the some questions which will be asked on the vehicle layout. Now, what is vehicle layout? Automobile layout is the orientation of the wheels, engine and driving components in relation to each other. The front wheel drive automobile layout is a type of layout in which engine as well as front drive wheel situated at the front of the vehicle. That means what are the ways that various components are mounted on the chassis or the frame, that is known as the layout. Here is typical layout. This is the typical layout, that is front engine, rear wheel drive. You can see here the various components which are mounted on the chassis. That is, there is a radiator, then the radiator fan. You can see the engine, the tire, wheels tire, front axle, then the clutch, gearbox, universal joint, then fuel tank, steering, sliding joint, universal joint, then differential and leaf spring, propeller shaft, silencer, gearbox. These are the components which you can see on the in this diagram. This is the front engine, rear wheel drive layout of a typical automobile, which is front engine, rear wheel drive. Here, why such a type of layout is required? That is, what is the significance of vehicle layout? Why we need such a type of vehicle layout? This is the question. What is the significance of vehicle layout? Dear students, the weight distribution is the factor which affects the average or efficiency of the vehicle at running condition. Weight distribution, the arrangement of the components such as engine, transmission system and passenger seating significantly affect the vehicle's balance and handling characteristics. For example, a front engine configuration enhances traction in front wheel drive vehicles, whereas mid-engine layout offers superior balance, particularly situated for high performance sports cars. That means weight distribution is very important factor in the vehicle layout. Then second is the space utilization. How the space you utilize on the chassis frame, that is very important factor. The structural layout influences the allocation of interior space and storage capacity. Designs such as flat floors or rear engine placement optimize cabin space, ensuring practicality and comfort of the occupants. That means the layout should be such that the space, for what purpose or what application we require the automobile, the space utilization factor should be considered in the vehicle layout. Then the aerodynamics is the factor, that is the positioning of the critical elements like engine and wheel impacts the aerodynamic profile of the vehicle. It affects the fuel efficiency and overall performance by minimizing air resistance. See, dear students, in a rear engine case, the radiator fan will be at the rear side. In such a case, the cooling of the engine affects affects, and the performance of the vehicle will definitely affect, that is fuel efficiency will be affected. This is the aerodynamics factor which affects the vehicle layout. Then the drive system, the layout determines whether a car is front wheel, rear wheel or all wheel drive, which in turn affects driving dynamics and adaptability to diverse road conditions. Various road conditions affects the vehicle layout. That means if the road is rough or the road is not plain, that is in such a case we should use the four-wheel drive mechanism, because in such a case we required the balancing of the vehicle. For that purpose, a driving system, that is four-wheel drive. This is the factor which affects the vehicle layout. Also, safety is the parameter or factor which is considered in the vehicle layout. In designing of the vehicle layout, also purpose of specific design, if the vehicle is required for the specific design, in such a case this factor also considered in the vehicle layout. This is the significance of vehicle layout, that means why we require the vehicle layout. Then there are various types of vehicle layouts, that is front engine, rear wheel drive. Second is front engine, front wheel drive. Third is rear engine, rear wheel drive. Then mid engine, rear wheel drive, four wheel drive. In case of four wheel drive, rear engine, all wheel drive, front engine, all wheel drive. These are the vehicle different types of vehicle layouts. Now we will see one by one what is the sketch or schematic diagram of the different types of layouts. Also the advantages and disadvantages of different types of layouts. Now first is front engine, front wheel drive. Here we can see the engine is located in the front side. Engine is located in the front side of the vehicle. Now you can see here the differential is also in the front, because wheel drive is at the front. You can see the clutch gear arrangement is also in the front side, and only supporting bar is attached to the rear axle. This is the schematic diagram or sketch of the front engine, front wheel drive. Now what are the advantages of this front wheel drive? Front wheel drive, there is a propeller shaft is eliminated. You can see in the schematic diagram there is no propeller shaft. Propeller shaft is eliminated. This is the advantage. Also, as compared to rear wheel drive car, there is faster and safer traveling due to good road holding on turns. That is the weight will be at the front side, so the front front wheel drive is advantages than rear wheel drive. Good road adhesion due to most of weight is just behind driving wheel. Under steer condition can be preferred on this type of vehicle. It has low center of gravity. Transmission system is compact. In this case, these are the advantages of front engine front wheel drive. Now the disadvantages of front engine front wheel drive is, we can see here there are some disadvantages, that is even on level road steering is slightly heavier. In this case, chances of slippage on slippery gradient. The tractive effort decreases on gradient due to weight shifting to the rear. In a moving vehicle, the weight on the driving wheels decreases during acceleration and on gradient. It also requires, due to complicated front driving wheels arrangement, it requires accommodate steering mechanism. These are the disadvantages of front engine front wheel drive. Dear students, now the second one is front engine rear wheel drive. Here engine is placed at front side, as like the previous case. Engine is placed at the front side, but the drive is given to the rear axle. This is the difference in previous case and this case. Here in schematic diagram, this is the schematic diagram, and you can see here the various components of the transmission system, as well as you can see here the engine in the front side, in the front axle. Here the components are engine, clutch, gearbox, universal joint, sliding joint, then universal joint, differential, then rear wheel. These are the various components. You can see it is the most conventional type of layout. You can see here the engine is arranged in the front side, fitted in the front of the vehicle, and drive is given to the rear wheel. Advantages of this type of layouts are: first is even weight distribution. As you can see in the schematic diagram, the engine is placed in the front side and the transmission system is transferring in the rear side. That is, the even weight distribution is there. In this case, this is the advantage. Also, steering radius, there is no complicated drive shaft joints are required at the front wheel, as previous case. It is possible to turn them further than would be possible using front wheel drive, resulting in a smaller steering radius. You can see here a smaller steering radius. The third one is more predictable steering, low traction conditions. Steering wheels maintain traction and ability to affect the motion of vehicle, even if the drive wheels are slipping. Fourth advantage is simple front axle design. Fifth advantage is better engine cooling. As the engine is placed in the front side, the air cools the natural air stream flowing across the radiator is the benefit in this case. Then next advantage is accessibility to various engine component is accessible easily. Then next, the advantage is less costly and easier maintenance. And the cost is less, the maintenance is also easy. The specialized tools in order to replace the parts, that is easy and systematic layout, hence the maintenance is easy. Then the next advantage is weight transfer during acceleration. During heavy acceleration, the front and end rise and more weight is placed on rear or driving wheels. The next advantage is better handling in dry conditions. You can see the handling is better. These are the advantages. Now there are some disadvantages in such a type of layout. Disadvantage are: first is we require to use propeller shaft. This is the disadvantage. Then second is length of transmission increases. This is a disadvantage. Then third disadvantage is higher noise transmitted from front engine to driver cabin. And fourth disadvantage is it requires larger brake pads at front wheels because of higher weight being transmitted on a front wheel while deceleration. These are the advantages and disadvantages of front engine rear wheel drive. Now these are the mostly used cases, that is front engine front wheel drive and front engine rear wheel drive. Now next is rear engine rear wheel drive. Rear engine rear wheel drive. The advantages here you can see in the schematic diagram that the engine is placed in the rear side and drive is also given in the rear side. All the transmission components and engine you can see in the rear side. The examples of rear sides you can see Tata Nano. Tata Nano is the example of rear engine rear wheel drive. Advantages of rear engine rear wheel drive are: the front axle consists of very simple design and houses the steering mechanism only. And then second advantage is because of high weight of driving axle, it provides excellent traction and grip on